I'm Reimer from Farmshop in Santa Monica. Today we're making ricotta cake. I'm just going to spray the pan quite liberally. Coat a generous amount of sugar inside the pan. Any pan. You have a bun pan or you have a regular pan. Maybe you've got an old funky pan that your grandmother gave you that you love. She used to make you cakes. Use that. You want to make sure that all the sides are coated with the sugar. Why? So that when push comes to shove, the cake mixture comes out. So first things first, we're going to mix the butter, which we've diced previously. We love great butters here at Farmshop. So if it's Vermont Creamery or Achadina, Petaluma, Portuguese dairy that we use, we dice the butter, let it come to room temperature. What we're gonna do first, we're gonna raise our mixer, and we wanna cream the butter. And all that means is that we wanna make it soft, very smooth and cohesive. And now we're gonna speed up the mixer a little bit and let that butter start to cream out a little bit. Just imagine what whipped butter should look like. Super soft, really creamed out. Mine's just getting there. Now I'm going to start to incorporate the sugar. By doing so, I'm just going to start to slowly pour it in. Incorporate it, it's smoothing. Let's pour some more sugar. You're going to see these little granules sometimes as the butter is emulsifying with the sugar. Let it go. It can't over cream. Don't be afraid of it getting too whipped. It's going, I'm ready. I pour some more sugar inside. And then everything. If you have vanilla syrup, let's add a little syrup. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. Today, I've got some poppy seeds. If you don't have poppy seeds, you could use basil seeds. If you don't have basil seeds, put some raisins inside. If you don't have some raisins, pick something that you like that you think will work inside a cake. The butter's creaming out nicely. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit so this doesn't splash all over the place. A little bit of baking soda. Then we're incorporating the eggs one at a time, mixing until they're completely combined with the butter. It drops inside. I'm looking at my eggs. I'm looking at my butter, and then I turn it up a little bit until it's completely whipped together. You'll see it almost looks like it splits, and then it comes back together. When it comes back together, let's drop the rest of the eggs inside. We're going to slowly incorporate the flour at a lower speed so the flour doesn't splash up at us. And I'm just going to slowly tap the flour inside. Same idea. You have a little spatula, great. You have a spoon, great. Wooden spoon, the same rubber spatula. The cake's pretty indestructible. We use cup for cup flour for this to keep it gluten-free. If you don't have cup for cup, use another flour. And eventually we're incorporating all the flour. We're going to add the ricotta in 2 stages. Number 1, half the ricotta. Straight in, half the ricotta goes inside. We love Bellwether Farms up in Northern California. They don't produce the ricotta with sheep's milk in the winter season, but once spring rolls around, they start producing sheep's milk. If you can find Bellwether, great. If you can't, use whatever you can find. Now that we have it mixed in the mass, we shut it off. We use our spatula again. Let's clean up our paddle. One nice mixture. It's tempered well. Now we're going to fold in the second half of the ricotta. You're going to say, why? Why do we put it in 2 stages? Because we see all those nice lumps inside the ricotta. We want that texture to live inside our cake as well. So now, I'm going to pour that last half of the ricotta inside. And by hand, I'm just going to slowly work over the ricotta, but still keeping big chunks of ricotta. Now I still see some big pieces of the cheese. I'm done. Now it comes time to pour the cake. Listen, don't worry. You drop a little bit on the side, it's okay. Little offsets back. A little cup of hot water. Step 1, put a towel down. Drop the pan. A couple times. It makes it easier when you need to spread it. I'm going to dip the tip of my spatula inside, and it's honestly, it's good enough to put in the oven. Imagine your cake is going to kind of start to melt when it goes in the oven. Just in case you smear that cake around, don't be fanatical about this. If you want to lick the spatula, we're ready to go inside the oven. We're going to go into a 330-degree oven, preheated, for about 20 minutes. That first 20 minutes is going to give the cake a lot of color. After the first 20 minutes, we're gonna drop it down to 300 degrees and let it toast for another 20 until the cake's just done. So now we passed our 20-minute mark. Let's take a look at our cake. We're gonna pull it out. We've got great color on the top of the cake. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna leave our oven open for 2 or 3 minutes just to let it cool down a little bit as we turn it back down to 300 degrees. I'm gonna slide the cake back in for another 20 minutes and then we'll take a look. So now our cake is rested 10 minutes after it came out of the oven. We're gonna take a simple plate, put it on the top of the cake mold. Now we're gonna invert it onto the plate. Fingers crossed, nothing sticks. Felt good. A little reveal. Beautiful. Now for the dressing of the cake. So I went with the blueberry jam. We have a little bit of blueberry jam. Just gonna smear it on top of the cake. Do a little bit of drops. Really, it's however much you want. If you like fresh blueberries, we love Larry Thorne. If you're going for a surf, Bonasol Road just off the Zuma Beach in Malibu. This is a rustic cake. All that really matters about this cake is that it's delicious. If you don't have creme fraiche, use whipped cream. If you don't have whipped cream, get some ready whip. I've used my spoon a little bit. We're gonna make something called a canal. I dip inside, and I make these little spoons right on top of our ricotta cake. I'm Brian from Farmshop in Santa Monica, and this is our ricotta cake.